Are you interested in adding weather-resistant storage? Do you need a cool place to store your hat? Are you interested in seeing one way to add sliders when you got a saddle tank blocking your frame? Do you just like square bodies? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to Venturi Fab. All right, we're going to get jamming on this dually here this morning. The toolboxes finally got here. Got one for each side. Got my tube here, the 1 3/4 tube for the sliders and the structure for that. So we're going to start out by getting these toolboxes kind of mocked up into place so that I can build the support structure around it so you can load them down. And then those sliders and the skid plate for the gas tank are going to tie down into that. So I'm not going to make any progress standing here yapping my face. So let's get after it. So I'm taping up the front edge so that moving it up and down on that, you don't chip all this up and make it look like crap. This style spring punch with the weighted ends and the spring in the middle is my favorite kind of spring punch. These work the best, unlike the preloaded ones where it's kind of this little spring in the handle, and half the time you go to pop it and it doesn't pop. Never happens with these. Have hardware that's the right size, so I gotta go get some more. I got some stuff in there that'll fit, but I think that'll work good, and that'll give me somewhere to go off of for doing my sliders, because I'm going to run those down along here. And then since this is a saddle tank and it's in the way, but these sliders aren't going to be doing like off-roading, they're just more of a step. I'm going to do my kicker up here and tie into the bed instead of the frame, because that's all gas tank. So, well, I've got my material unloaded, so we're going to start building the support structure for the boxes so that you can actually load them down with a good amount of weight and use them as a box. And then once that's in place, I can get these sliders dialed in. And then I gotta get my sliders and bumpers going on that Blazer. So let's get to it. All right. so we're gonna get this fuel system all sealed up. We're gonna replace all this, and then I gotta get this guy back to being round and do that on both sides, because I gotta do a little bit of welding under here, and I don't know about you, but I kind of prefer not exploding. Alright, so we're gonna do these one side at a time. I'm just gonna copy it pretty close here. One trick for you when you're trying to cut, because I don't have like a big snipper for 1.25" hose. So one trick that I've kind of come across over the years, if you're trying to cut something big like that, is you can give you like a tape line on it as a little guide. So I want to be like right there, and then you just wrap your tape around, and that'll give you a straighter cut line for you to follow so that you don't go crooked. And when you're cutting big hose like this, make sure you got a fresh blade. It'll make your life a lot easier than trying to cut through with a dull blade. Alright, so we've got our plates made for this thing. Here's our first one. Like I was saying, the gas tank's all in the way because it's a saddle tank. So the tube's going to come off of this front piece here, and like I was saying, these are mostly as a step. They're not really made for like bashing on rocks off-road. So we're attached with through bolts to this big steady piece for the it runs the whole length of the bed. And then our tube's going to come out and down and then run along the bottom of the cab, and then our front mount is right behind the motor mount up there, and those will kick out to it, and we'll be good. All right, I just need to work on these kickouts now, but we kind of got the everything all set up in there, how it's going to be, nice and tight, and then we'll have a step coming off of here to go in. So I'm going to get started making this piece, you see what I'm talking about, go over the tank and then into my little plate up there, and then I'll get this guy made, and then we'll have some steps. All right, so we're gonna figure out what angle we need to cut our tube here
to match up with this because it's not straight out. It's got to come down at a slope a little bit. So we're going to use a little math here. Let's turn this guy on. We are at 87 degrees on the frame. And our angle from the bottom of the tube to about where the bottom of the tube's going to go. Right about there. About 10.5 degrees. So 10.5, 87. And then we'll math that out on paper right now, figure out what that kit angle needs to be, and then get our measurement over to the tube. All right, so we'll get our length to right about the tip of where my cut out will be, right like the fish mouth. The edge lip of that should be right at 15 3/4. So I'll give it a tiny bit more than that, and then I'll shave it down to fit, because better to have a little bit too much than not enough. All right, we're going to take a break from the dually here for a minute. We got a channel update here involving the Blazer. So I signed up for C10 intervention at the end of the month, so I've got like 3 weeks to get a ton of work done on this thing. Got my winch plate. I'm going to get this bumper made with all the tube work. I got my tie-ins to tie the roll cage in through the floor to the sliders. And then we're going to get rid of all that goop from pulling the trim off. And then rear bumper, got a couple sticks of DOM right there. I'm sure I'll end up needing more. So we're going to be real busy this month getting this truck all dialed in. I'll have part 2 for the dually in the next week. I picked up a new tube notcher for it today. You saw mine decided to kill itself. So I'll have that truck done in the next couple days. I'll have that video out probably next week. And then subscribe, hit the little bell notification if you like square body stuff, because we're going to be freaking rocking and rolling on this thing. I got a lot to do in 3 weeks to do it in. So sign up for all that stuff, drop a comment, help boost my videos up there. I appreciate it. And have a great day, guys.